I'm Alison Marsh and I run Insight Business Solutions. We're an accountancy practice, but we kind of go above and beyond that and give financial and business advice to people, a broad range, but we do kind of specialise in women in business, and I've got a real passion for that. Obviously, being a woman in business myself, and just the difficulties that I feel like women need to overcome to kind of make that progression in business. So in financial management, really, there's two key areas. Obviously, if you're in business, you've got your business finances and your personal finances. So the business finances, there's lots of different areas, and a bit like Jenna, I could speak all day about this because it's what I do every day. But the key things really, obviously, you've got people who are setting up businesses. So we've just mentioned then about partnerships, and obviously, if things go wrong in a business in the long term, it's good to make sure that you've got the business structure correct. So whether that be that you're a sole trader, a partnership, a limited company, if you are going down the limited company route, making sure that you've got you understand what the shareholding looks like in your business, and the role of a director in a business. Because I get clients all the time who say, oh, I've wanted to set up a business, I've set it up myself on company's house, and then you look at it and you think you've just like given half of it away to somebody that you didn't actually realize you'd given half of it away by giving them a 50% share. People don't really understand share structure. It is always good to get the advice of someone like myself, and even a lawyer as well. Sometimes is necessary depending on how someone wants that set up. But it's a key thing. I think people are very quick to just think, oh yeah, I've got this idea, I'm going to set that up, and it is straightforward to do yourself, but it's making sure you've got that structure right, because it can really cause issues in the future if you don't get it correct to start with. Understanding taxes, I get this again all the time. There's so many different types of taxes if someone's not been in business before, or even if they are in business, it's whether they've got the structure right of the business and they're utilising the taxes correctly. I had a client a few months ago who he'd always just been a sole trader like all his life. He was paying so much in national insurance because he was a sole trader and he was making lots of money, and it was just like a no-brainer. He should just be a limited company straight away, saved himself the national insurance on his dividends. So it's getting that good financial sound advice to make sure that you're making the right decisions. And understanding, whether you need to be set up for VAT if you're running a payroll, that how often you pay your PAYE payments, and understanding all the implications of the tax system. If someone's starting a new business, or even if they've got an existing business and they want to kind of push it forward and grow it, or look at like getting a better work-life balance, we always help people with creating a business plan, whether that's to go for funding or whether it's just to kind of I've had clients who say, oh, I work all the time. I've got a family and I want to be able to spend more time at home. I want to take Fridays off. So how can I do that? So it's kind of understanding the financials and giving them that plan to say, well, this is what it would look like if you then took that time out to have more time with your family, and kind of understanding if that's something that you've got all the actual information then to make informed decisions. Cash flow, again, something that we help a lot of clients with. So obviously you've got your business plan, that's looking at it from a profit and tax perspective, but obviously cash is king, and it's making sure that you understand when things are going to actually come out of your bank, and understanding the importance of people paying in a timely manner, and then that you're not paying people too quickly, and then you're ending up in a negative cash flow position. So again, just kind of understanding a cash flow forecast, and making sure that they understand the implications of paying things at the correct time. Again, now another one is investments. So we have clients who look at investments in like machinery, or it might be that if they're wanting to expand the business, they need to put some capital investment in to actually push the business forward, or it can be investments in actually recruiting staff, making sure they've got someone in place, you know, for future proofing the business, to make sure that they've got someone in there that can actually help run the business in the long term. You know, if are looking at kind of like the work-life balance, or for retirement, or so there's lots of different investment kind of opportunities. And then, like I said, building the business as well. So, you know, if they want to build the business, how can they do that? And understanding kind of implications from a tax perspective, and from how much time and energy and money you might have to put in to actually push your business to the next level. We always see with clients that, you know, they'll create a business, especially the first few years, you might not really make much money. You might just do well to kind of break even. You get past that ceiling, and then it gets to a point where they're working so much because they've got a good client base, but then they need to then make the step to employ somebody. So you kind of see this graph where it kind of your profit will go up, and then all of a sudden it'll have to drop down because you've employed someone. But then it's like a step, and then you've got a utilization then of that person that can take on a lot more work. So then you'll see a good peak, steep trend up again of the profit. So it's kind of explaining that to a client, and them understanding that it's you know, you've got to look at the bigger picture. You know, you've got to look at that long-term projection. So that's really kind of business finances. And then obviously I think we've covered some of this in what we've been talking about earlier, but then personal finance. So personal budgeting, again, I get so many clients who don't really necessarily do a lot on personal budgeting. And again, when I've had clients who've gone through like difficult situations, divorces, abusive relationships, you know, or even just wanting to do something different at home, or, you know, moving house, you know, wanting to make the next step up to a bigger property. If they've had like another child and they're like, oh, we need a bigger house, just really helping them do some personal budgeting to make sure they understand where the spending is, and where they can save money, and how they can be a bit more savvy. And then again, something that Kay does a lot of, obviously tax planning, and I work a lot with Kay on this kind of thing. Tax planning for the present, and looking at kind of, are they utilising everything that they can be doing? And there's so many clients that I get that don't utilise the tax at all, and they've had really bad advice off accountants. And it's just ill advice, that they're not set up in the correct manner. And we sit down with them, and we can usually save them money straight away just by doing a little bit of tax planning with them. Planning for the future. Then we've got tax planning for the future, which again, it's good to work with someone like myself as the accountant, and then obviously someone like Kay who can help with looking at the longer term financial planning. And we can look at that from a tax perspective as well. And that kind of leads on to like we talked briefly about before, was part of the business, but like investments, if people want to, you know, put money into properties, put money into different share schemes, you know, there's lots of different investments out there that they can look at. And then a key one obviously is pensions. There's so many clients I come across, and they're running a limited company and they don't have a pension that they're putting through a limited company. It's just a tax saving that can just be made immediately. And obviously it's a really good tool for looking at the personal finance and making sure they've got a structure in place for the future. So I've just put this little bit together as well, because I feel like, you know, again, we've talked about this previously about how we can all help. So something that I'm looking at doing, we're moving into a new premises at the end of the year, which hopefully, fingers crossed, will be complete. But what we're looking at doing is starting to do something on like business workshops. So we're going to look at doing some like quarterly free workshops for people on various topics. And it's something that, like I say, I feel really passionate about this, and trying to get people to have just, you know, a good sound understanding of what there is out there, and what they need to understand, different topics. So it might be that we do one on, you know, setting up a business. It might be that we do one on like doing a business plan, whether that be a 5-year plan, a 3-year plan, and a 12-month plan, just so people can actually understand that, you know, they might just have something that starts in the back bedroom, a small little business, but if they want that to grow, you know, I started my business in my back bedroom, and I've now got, you know, multiple sites 7 staff, you know, you can do this if that's something you really want to do. And I want to help by giving people the tools and the advice and the knowledge to kind of help them on the way with that. So we're looking at doing some business workshops once we've got this new premises, because we'll have more space. And then we're also looking at doing open evenings as well. So each quarter we're going to do like a drop-in evening, offering free advice and like a bit of a Q&A with myself and a couple of the accountants that work for me. And again, I think this is something that we could all probably discuss as well as part of this initiative and this project, that, you know, we could all get involved in doing some of these things as well, you know. And I'm happily put the premises out there to be used for this kind of thing, because I think it's really something that we all obviously care about, and I think it'd be really good use of the space as well to help more people. So that's it from me.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Alison.
I was just going to suggest maybe, I mean, obviously I'll happily come and get involved in those workshops with you, Alison, if you want me there.
Yeah, that'd be good, Kate.
The financial planning side for the business owner, especially around the future tax planning and stuff. But with the budget coming up, obviously at the end of October, there's going to be a big change, we think, don't we, to maybe to pensions and capital gains tax, and it might just be worth tying something into that. But we can talk about that off grid if you want. Yeah,
no, that sounds good.
Alison, I've got some questions about VAT for you. What's your advice generally when the turnover is possibly going to hit the threshold during the tax year ahead? And is your advice different depending on whether it's business to consumer or business to business?
Yeah, so I think with that as well, we come across a lot of clients who just, again, I feel like bad advice. They just get registered for VAT from the day dot. So they might not, I understand if people have had a lot of expense to set up a business, they might want to get VAT registered so they can claim back the startup costs of the business. But we've had quite a few clients recently who have said, oh yeah, my previous accountant had just set me up from the beginning and they're a service provider. They've not got anything that they've had to buy up front to start that business. And then they've been VAT registered. And when you start your business to start, you know, there's so much to consider to start with, and it's quite overwhelming to then include VAT into that as well. It ends up, I think, you know, just complicating matters. So I always say to clients, if they're going to go on to sites, we sell like licenses for software as well that people can use. So if they go on to like a license like QuickBooks or Xero, then we can keep a track of where they are with the turnover to make sure they're not near the threshold. So for like, we've got some licenses that have come out now that is for very small businesses. They don't do as much as some of the licenses that we offer, but we can sell one for like £5 a month, and they're just a basic license for a very small business. But it means then that they can still utilize the key things of linking like the bank account to that license, and then we can keep a track of where they are on the turnover to make sure that we've got, you know, we can give them the advice they need to say, right, yeah, you're getting near to that threshold. If they're a company that are incurring a lot of expenses that include VAT, then, and they're dealing with selling to other business who is a VAT registered, then yes, it's probably worth them going VAT registered, because they can claim it back and it's not going to be any impact on their customer base by charging VAT. If there's someone who's selling to, you know, individual consumers, then obviously adding VAT, you know, like a hairdresser, for example, all of a sudden they're 20% more expensive than the other hairdresser down the road who might not be VAT registered. So it's kind of just getting that balance and looking at the individual business really and the structure. But yeah, we advise, you know, using some kind of software is really helpful, because it gets you into really good like why can I say that word? Regime. Why? God, edit that out. Regimes. There we go. Into really good regime. Well, I don't know that word. Into really good practices. Into really good practices of, you know, making sure you're accounting for everything properly. And we always say, like, if you're getting one of these licenses and like £5 a month, you know, to be able to like keep your receipts and, take pictures of your receipts and make sure you're keeping receipts for like if you go out to meet a client and you get a coffee or whatever, then it'll pay for itself because you're saving, it's only costing £5 and that's tax deductible. And at least it's making it so you keeping all your receipts and kind of keeping your books in order from the beginning. So, and it helps obviously from the VAT perspective as well and understanding where you're up to.
And for all your clients, do they all keep their books digitally or do some of them use paper?
No, we have some people who use plastic bags, but
Oh, okay.
Not me.
No, not UK. But yeah, I mean, we get people with all different ideas of what's keeping the books clean. So yeah, but a lot of clients take our advice and go on to software. You usually find when someone starts off, they'll just use it, either a book or Excel to keep a detailed list of everything. And then after the first year, we'll kind of say, look, this would be easier if you did this. And you find that when you give people information, they love to get that information, so they want more information, which is why the software comes in really handy, because you can get more reports out of it and it's a bit more, real-time information.
So you effectively giving them management accounts during the year?
Yeah, we can. I mean, we do offer management accounts to clients, but obviously just having that thing of being able to go onto a system and just look at your P&L yourself, it gets you into that mindset, just checking where you're up to, month on month, especially when you're a new business and you're just finding your feet.
Right. But for those who are throwing bits of paper in a plastic bag, you can't really give them any information during the year.
No, exactly. That's what I mean. They'll say, "Oh, I've given you my bag. How did I do?" And you're like, "Come back to me in like a couple of months when we've gone through this bag."
Oh dear. Right. Thank you very much, Alison.